The 5 types of scares. An introduction. This is Scaring with Sammy. I thought I was going to have music. So I wanted to put together just an introduction to the 5 types of scares because each one of them should have its own video or videos. And by putting this out there now, it's going to help prompt me to make those videos. The 5 types of scares. Basically, these are 5 large categories of the different types of scares. And of course, they're going to be mixed and matched, and they kind of run into and bleed into each other. But these are the 5 types that I've kind of separated out so that it's easier to analyze and consider, oh, I'm going to add an element of this. I'm going to add a touch of this. And that way you can broaden and create more interesting and fuller scares. So the acronym for this is SPEAR, which is startle, presence, empathetic, anxiety, and reality shift. And SPEAR is not a great anagram for it, but it's better than the one that I had before, which was for startle, presence, emotional, weird out. So SPEAR is better. Starting off with S, startle. The startle scare is anything that gets a jump or the flinch. It's a sudden or unexpected movement, noise, or what have you. This is the heart of much of the haunted house industry. These are all the pop-out scares. This is your statue scare where there's a sudden movement. It includes even just a lunge, and of course those noisemakers, the sudden noise. Anything that kind of makes guests jump, flinch a little bit. Anything like that is a startle scare. The next is a presence scare. This is a scare based on the idea that the guests know that there is something there, or the guests think that there is something there that is going to harm them. For example, an anticipation scare. Think about it in terms of, say, a roller coaster. As you're going up the roller coaster, it's going to get to the roller coaster eventually, but that time in between, that anticipation, you know that there's a danger there, that's a different scare all by itself. And of course, you mix and match these, particularly with a startle scare, and you've got a nice little 1-2 punch, but a presence scare can last a little bit longer. A charge scare is also a presence scare. A charge, when something's coming at you, it's not suddenly appearing, but you know that something is coming at you really, but that's another type of scare. Those are presence scares. Scare is based on the guest's idea that there is something there that is going to get them. Next is empathetic. Empathetic scare is like a transfer of emotion. I am using my words and my body and I'm transferring feelings to the guest. So for example, if I just talk about a guest that was running away and face planted on the concrete. Now, just by using those words, sometimes people will have that image and they'll put that image in their head and they'll to kind of feel their teeth because the body takes the imagery or whatever it's being presented and it tries to learn from it and thinks about it and puts it together. And so you've transferred that emotion. Gross outs are part of the empathetic scares as well. So, I wonder what it would feel like if I touched it. Ooh. So gross outs are part of that empathetic, that transfer. Anxiety is playing with the limbic system and the amygdala. I'm not a medical expert, so I shouldn't really be using those terms, but let's just say that there is a survival sense that humans have, and it's constantly looking for danger. This is, goes from way, way, way back, and anxiety is playing with that. So we use things like cognitive dissonance. So for example, you have a body, and everybody knows what a body is, but you're juxtaposing it with the fact that the body's moving differently. And now the brain is saying, okay, I know the body, but that is wrong, so I'm gonna be paying attention to it because that's put me on alert. Also, innate fears, things that just naturally have a tendency to scare people, things like spiders and snakes, things that move differently, darkness, enclosed places. These are all things that trigger that safety sense. The same thing with pattern recognition. We recognize patterns. So when patterns are on or off, the brain is going to recognize that and start to put you on alert. This also sets you up for the startle scares, the presence scares, and everything else. Like I said, they all kind of meld together. And then there is the reality shift. And that's the final one. This is sort of that undescribable feeling that there is something wrong. It's what Stephen King described as horror. It's the idea that you walk into your home and everything has been replaced with an identical duplicate. It feels wrong. And this is where the actor, through his dedication, creates a feeling with the guests that that there's something very, very wrong here. This is not for actors that want to be admired. Look how fast I am. Look at how great my banter is. because that's admiration. That's the exact opposite. This is for the actors that are so focused that the guests are like, okay, I'm not sure whether or not how much of this is real or not, and they get weirded out. Reality shifts is also, I would call it the weird out. So those are the basic, broad categories of scares. This was just an introduction to it. I hope to be putting together a lot more of these, more specific, go into a little bit of depth, a little bit how to use these and how to create and craft them. And that will be a couple other videos. So this is an introduction to the 5 types of scares. No music, but I'll work with it. And this is Scaring with Sammy.